Food is not the enemy. Food can be energy, it can be well being, and it can be the fuel that our bodies need. Today on Daily Reset, we explore how to consume food the proper way that it will benefit us with Coach Amal Albahar. Stay tuned as we return right after this break. Welcome back, dear viewers. We are back once more, and today we have a returning guest, Coach Amal Albahar. Welcome to the show again, Amal.
It's a pleasure being here.
Pleasure is all ours. Now, we want to talk about nutrition a little bit more. We kind of skimmed through that topic in our previous encounter. Nutrition, very important. Eating food, everybody loves it, but it can be, either with us or against us. Now, you as a coach, what does it mean for you? Food as energy. What does that mean?
As someone who's a self-proclaimed foodie,
Okay.
I view food as I've changed my relationship with food rather than being like a way to self-soothe when I'm feeling stressed. Shifting it towards a way to fuel my body to be able to do the things I want to do. So that's what food is for me. It's not just a means to an end, because I like to enjoy my food. For some people that it works, but for me it's something it's another form of self-love, like how I fuel my body, the way I move my body, the way I do everything in life.
It's also the way you eat and what you eat. That's also very crucial and important. Now, eating, it's important to eat the proper amount, the right food to get the proper energy. Now, why do some people feel tired and maybe sluggish even though they've eaten enough?
I think understanding not just calories, because a lot of people fall into the trap of, yes, calories is very important. So if you want to lose weight or lose fat, you do need to be in a calorie deficit, which is basically eating slightly less than how much your body needs to burn. However, calories is not everything. Calories is the main part, but then you have what we call macros. So the amount of protein that you need, amount of carbs that you need, amount of fats that you need. Not to say that any of these are evil, good or bad, it's just that you need all these components. And for someone who's feeling sluggish, maybe the types of food that they're eating is not giving them the energy that they need.
Okay.
So it's not necessarily a good or bad thing. It's just a shift in what change you need to make.
So it's kind of like take a look at your diet, see what you're eating, amount of calories, and then kind of go into details and check your macros. Pick the right diet for yourself, with the help of an expert, or even if you can pick it yourself, so you can get the proper energy and fuel for your daily activities.
Yes, so I just want to add a point that I would always recommend, if it's available to you, to go to a trusted nutritionist or dietitian to help guide you towards what is healthy eating for you, for your specific body. Because there are foundational things you can follow, but every body is different. However, again, we live in an age where there are a lot of tools, there are a lot of apps out there, there are a lot of information there that can help simplify it. So if you just simplify it to what you can simply take a body scan, for example, and see what's going on in your body. So the amount of fat percentage you have in your body, amount of muscle you have in your body, what's generally how much your body's actually burning in the day. So for it just to be alive, because that's what fuel is, right? So it's the calories needed for your body to function, not just for exercise. So understanding that, you'll be able to make a better plan for yourself, or an idea of how to plan. And again, there's a lot of resources out there that can simplify that for you.
Absolutely. And for athletes, we talked a lot about the average individual, somebody who doesn't necessarily work out, right? Now, for the athletic people, how does nutrition help with their training and even in their daily life? The proper nutrition or even the bad nutrition. How does each one of those affect their training and daily life?
For athletes, they train for a goal. They're not training just for a lifestyle. There is an actual physical goal that they're getting to. So you'll need to be more technical, not technical, but you need to focus more, add a bit more planning in what you're in your diet, because that is certainly a big part of how you perform. So if you want to be performing a certain way, you need to fuel your body in a certain way, because you're going to put your body through a lot of stress, because it requires a lot of rigorous exercise. You need to be more disciplined, as we've spoken about before, in that sense. So you need to have a plan. So whether that's having someone like a nutritionist guiding you to help,
pinpoint what you need, tweak your everyday diet into something that you actually need and it's proper for you.
Exactly, because it requires a high level of performance, which means you need a high level of fuel. So you need to be educated more than anyone to be able to know what types of foods you eat, know the dietary needs your body requires to perform whatever sports or
whatever goal you're trying to achieve as well,
Exactly.
athletically speaking.
Exactly, yes.
Now, nutrition, extremely important once again. It reminds me of our previous conversations regarding discipline, setting goals, meeting those goals, and how sports and movement can actually make you feel better about yourself. It all connects with each other, right? And it all requires proper planning. It seems like in order for you to get to the final goal, it's always about planning, understanding, getting to your final goal.
Yes.
Some diets don't really follow that plan, or it doesn't follow that way of setting up the diet itself. So I was wondering, what is your take on fad diets and trendy extreme eating habits?
They may work temporarily, but they're not sustainable.
Okay.
And again, I always encourage people to educate themselves, and because with education you're more empowered to make the right choices for you and not be influenced by whatever fad diet is there, whatever misinformation there are about nutrition. It really is back to the basic blocks of calories, macros, all of that. Of course, there's nuances. Those who have, allergies, or people with celiac disease, or people even with PCOS, their body behaves differently. So I'd always encourage to seek out an expert in the field to help you navigate. However, these fad diets, again, is shortcuts. There's no shortcuts. Your body does not, it won't respond to a shortcut, because you can't be sustained. You can't sustain anything in life with shortcuts. So I think just going back to the basics, understanding what your body needs, understanding your how much energy you need for your daily activities, for your fitness, that will help guide you to the nutrition.
To the nutritional goal.
Exactly. And also adaptability, being able to adapt it to your routine. For some people, having not eating past 7 p.m. works for them.
Okay.
For me, for example, past 7 p.m. is the only time I have to eat.
Okay.
So it's just about being able to adapt it to your routine and being able to be consistent with it.
It all depends on what works best with you,
Exactly.
for you, and like you said, what adapts best for you as well.
Yeah.
Now we're going to take a small break and then we'll continue right afterwards. Dear viewers, we're going to go away for a minute and then we'll continue right afterwards. Stay tuned. Welcome back, dear viewers. We continue our conversation with our esteemed guest, Coach Amal Albahar. Hello again. We were talking about nutrition, diet, what to eat, what not to eat, what adapts with our daily routine, what doesn't. You know, as part of being Kuwaitis, we do love our carbs. Our meals can be a little too heavy. So how can we balance out Kuwaiti cuisine with our healthy lifestyle?
So again, it's all about so for me, for example, there are certain foods that are carb heavy that I do enjoy.
Okay.
But I don't have to create a whole, nutrition plan for me. I can use that, but for example, add more protein to it. You can take anything and make it so-called healthy or suited to your dietary needs. For example, I can take okay, so my latest obsession is the lotus spread.
Okay.
So obviously I'm not going to eat a whole jar of that,
Right.
but I can make it healthy having a Greek yogurt, putting that as a topping. That way I have my the dairy that I need, the protein that I need, and just like seeing where you can make sacrifices, but including the foods that you enjoy.
So you don't deprive yourself, because that could
No.
also play on your psyche. You're like, I
Exactly.
enjoy this, I like it, now I can't have it.
It all depends on the type of person. So for me, I don't like discipline in food does not work for me.
Okay.
I need to enjoy my food. Some people that I know, and very lucky people, they can just enjoy the same food every single day, and they're happy because it's a means to an end. Those types of people, I think, will be easier to commit to nutrition. But people like me who love food and who enjoy sweets and
A variety.
and very carb heavy food, I think you just need to you can include them into your diet, but you can adapt it to the nutritional needs of your
Small
body.
tweaks in order for it to be
Exactly.
suitable for you.
So increase the protein, for example, and decrease the carbs. Increase like the you can have a big portion of food, but the calories of it is lower for so it's just about what types of food to choose, what to include, what to stay away from. There are foods that you cannot have a small portion of because it's either all or nothing.
Right.
So those kind of foods you kind of want to stay away from having, and not, I think those, because we in our culture we live with our parents, we're very much familial people, so we live with family, right? So it's not like we live by ourselves. So creating your own routine within the household, it's gonna be challenging at first, but that's where motivation comes in. But once the routine sets in, it's easier to be like, I'm not depending on what's lunch for today to fit my nutritional need. I plan it for the week. If I don't plan my foods for the week, I'm setting myself up for failure.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
You know, it's interesting. Everything that we've been talking about, even in our previous encounters, goes back to planning, because it definitely gives you a much clearer idea on what you're gonna do and what is gonna lead to.
Yeah.
Now, you talked about heavy carb foods, loaded with carbs. Carbs can have a hidden ingredient in them, sugar.
Yeah.
Foods that are heavy in sugar or even processed foods, how can they affect our emotional state?
I think if you overconsume on sugar and on carbs, these two things are not necessarily bad things. And I know it's a controversial topic about processed food. People want to stay away from processed foods. For me, sometimes I need to have some kind of it's okay to have a bit of processed food for me in my food, because it helps me commit to my meals. It helps me enjoy my food. Just making sure that's not a big part of it. But the danger of relying heavily on packaged food, chips, chocolates, and all of these things, it makes you lethargic. It depletes your energy. You have a lot of sugar crashes, and it really doesn't do much for your body. You feel sluggish.
It also goes to your head because you feel unmotivated.
Exactly. So when you feel sluggish, you don't want to move.
Right.
You don't want to you know, stick to routine. You're not enjoy. You're kind of in this demotivated state because you want to be there, you want to be able to move and reach your fitness goals and all of that. However, you're going back to the cycle of I'm, you know, binging on sweets and chocolates and all these things that are making me depleting my energy. That's that's like not motivating to go. And then it's like a vicious cycle, and and you judge yourself. There's self-judgment in it.
And then you get into the
oh, I should
have done this. I don't feel like doing that, and you're like in a very negative mind state.
Exactly. So it doesn't create there's no it's just a vicious cycle of you just staying in your place.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Now, you know, food can be comfort, right? Everybody loves food. You know, it's comforting, it's nice, it gets a lot of people together, right, when you have a gathering. However, it begs the question, why do some people binge eat when they feel sad or even stressed out?
So I'm an emotional eater.
Okay.
I've had a let's say a struggling relationship with food. So what I've learned in my journey is, I think, being honest with myself. So I tend to eat when I'm stressed. I tend to binge on whatever is in front of me, chips, chocolates. I never feel good afterwards.
Okay.
So I think being honest with yourself, and rather than saying no, I'm not gonna have it because
you're gonna like cut it off.
I'm gonna cut it off because I'm gonna have those moments where I feel like I want to self-soothe with food. I think being honest of why am I eating? Am I eating this piece of chocolate because I'm hungry? Okay, maybe I should have lunch first and then have the chocolate.
See if I even crave the chocolate after lunch.
Exactly. Am I eating this chocolate because I'm feeling stressed and I want to, you know, I want to emotionally soothe myself with food? I'm honest with myself. And if it's a yes and I still want to have it, go for it. There's no judgment. I think building a healthy relationship with food helps because a lot of times it's the judgment afterwards that pours into that vicious cycle, that makes that vicious cycle keep going, and you don't want that. So I think stopping it at like not judging yourself, like, okay, if you're gonna binge eat on something, don't starve yourself after. Just continue your food, continue your meal plans as planned. And again, it goes back to when you plan, there's less likelihood of these episodes, I think, that would happen because you've structured your meals in a way where you're not setting yourself up for failure. You're not coming back from work or starving. Like you've had your snacks, so you're not like eating all these unhealthy things because you feel like you're hungry and you want to satisfy that. No, you're eating it because you want to enjoy it, which is fine. So you're able to eat like one or two pieces.
You're able to portion it out and actually know what's enough for you, and you don't go over the limit. Now it all ties up to the fact that you gotta be honest with yourself, know your goals, and know the steps that you're gonna take towards your goal. It's all very eye-opening. Now we're gonna take a small break and then we'll continue right afterwards. Dear viewers, don't change the channel just yet. We're gonna take a small break and then we'll continue right afterwards. Stay tuned. Welcome back, dear viewers. We continue our conversation with our esteemed guest, Coach Amal Albahar. Hello again. We talk a lot about nutrition, goals, and what needs to be done in order for us to better ourselves and create a healthy and sustainable lifestyle. However, you know, in the modern time, contemporary times, people are always busy. They're always on the go. They have little time to sit and actually prep. But however, if I were to ask you, what are some of the energizing meals that are quick enough for busy people to create and prep for themselves, what would those meals be?
There is no one answer because everyone has their own food preferences.
If you were to mention some,
I would say, rather than mentioning food specifically, I would say making sure, because having enough protein in the day is actually harder than it seems. I think once people focus on their nutrition a bit more, they find that actually eating enough is harder than it seems, because you need to eat enough proteins, enough of all these good stuff within your day. So I think if you're on the go, first of all, narrowing down what type of foods you like narrow it down to 2, 3, whatever food choices that you really like, making sure that whatever you choose is higher in protein. Okay, so having 30 plus grams of protein early on in the day, so that you don't have to, so you don't come back and you're like, oh, I don't have enough protein. You're just like shoving down chicken breasts.
Right. Yeah. You're just
Because there's just
stuffing your face with those. And...
Exactly, because there's just so much that you can handle in one sitting. So I think also making your meal plan flexible. So I'm someone who does it. For some people, they pre-cook and they put it in the fridge and then they just like
take it out, heat it up, and they consume it.
I don't have that. I don't have that flexibility to heat up food wherever I go. Sometimes I need to have something that I can have cold, or I can have that doesn't, nothing that has meat, because I need to be able to store it properly. And so I don't have that luxury of reheating food. So I choose foods or snacks. I create protein forward snacks that would help me eat. Like I don't have much time to eat during the day, especially when I'm coaching, because I'm always on the go.
Right.
However, when I come back, I have my meal planned. I already know what I do. So I like to have I don't like meal boxes, because I'm someone who I'm a very picky eater, although I'm a foodie. I'm a very picky eater, so there's certain things that I know I'm not going to eat, and I can't force myself to eat because I'm not going to commit to it afterwards.
Right.
So I, for example, order a butchery box, a box of like meats.
It's already prepped, marinated for you even.
Exactly. It's marinated, it's weighed. I know how many grams each chicken breast is, and it's delicious. So all I need to do is, when I get back home, prep it. I make sure I have things that I can prep in a short amount of time. Some people like to cook. So
and it doesn't even take a lot of effort. You just put it in the air fryer and it cooks itself.
15 minutes, that's it.
You prep your card quickly and then you're good. You got a balanced meal.
Exactly. But people who are on the go, what I do is one thing I do, make sure that I do, is prep my breakfast for the next day. Whether it's fruits that I want to have cut and ready, whether it's whatever it is, making sure I have a turkey, enough for a turkey sandwich. Sometimes I do my boiled eggs from the night. Some people don't like that. So it just really depends on that. So there are certain things that you can make easier for yourself, so you can take it on the go. But don't go through the day and be like, oh, I can't eat this, I can't eat this, I can't eat this. Bring food with you.
Absolutely.
It doesn't have to be a full meal. It can be like a simple snack.
Yeah, something that'll sort of hold you up, so to speak, so you can keep on going. Now, people have different relationships with food. Some people have a good relationship. Some people have a toxic relationship, so to speak. Now, what are some of the steps that the dear viewer can actually follow to have a healthy relationship with food?
I think, one, remove the judgment. Because a lot of the time, the toxic relationship is I'm judging myself for what I'm eating. And I think that is something you need to address. People with more serious toxic relationships with food may need to seek professional help to help them navigate. However, if it's something that you can manage, something that I did that helped me is I remove the judgment. I'm honest with myself. Why do I want to eat this? Am I hungry? It's like a little check-in. Because when you sit down and really think about it, it could be that you're thirsty. Maybe you just need to drink water. Maybe you just need to eat a meal. Maybe you're really craving it, so go ahead, have it, but within reason. I think that's the first step. A second thing is plan.
Okay.
When you have clarity in what you
want to achieve, what you want to eat.
What you want to eat, it's fine. Like not having 10 food choices, narrow it down to three of your top. For example, for me, for breakfast, if I have a morning shift, or if I have something I need to wake up, be at work at 6 a.m., for example, I don't have the energy in the morning to go and prep my food. I barely have the energy to wake up and get energized and get ready to teach a full class, right? So for me, I prep. So I know in my morning shift, the meal is 1, 2, 3. These are my meals. So it's when you have clarity, you have less room for confusion, and it helps your relationship with food, because it's like, oh, I'm fueling myself rather than I'm binging on this thing and my whole day revolves around me. Why did I eat this piece of chocolate? Why did I, So it helps.
It definitely does, and it sets a clear path for somebody who's trying to meal prep or even plan out what they need to eat. Now, it all sounds easy for somebody who's educated a little bit in prepping what they want to eat and having a good relationship with food. Some viewers, somebody who might be listening or watching, they could be like, well, I'm still a little bit foggy on the details. I still don't know what I'm going to put on my plate. So if I were to give you an empty plate and you were to design that plate and just kind of give me like 50% of this, 30% of that, or like quarter of the plate, half of the plate, what would that plate look like?
Okay, realistically speaking,
yes.
The realistic steps to take.
Please.
First of all, being clear on where your body's at.
Okay.
For me, doing a body scan, knowing where my body's at, how many calories am I burning, like approximately in the day. That way I know where to set. If my target is fat loss, I know where to set my calories at, and I know how to categorize, prioritize the macros, which is protein, carb, fat. So that's number one, being clear on that, what your specific body needs. Second, I want to see what my daily routine is.
Okay.
Whether we don't have whether you think you have a routine or you don't, there are certain habits that you have in your food. So during the week, I always advise to check 3 days, for 3 days or for 1 week, what have you been eating? How have you been eating? Okay, for example, I realize I haven't been eating breakfast, or my breakfast is basically just a banana, which doesn't sustain me, or most of my meals is carb based, carb heavy, which is making me
sleepy,
or making me hungry. I'm not as hungry. So protein,
it doesn't give that fullness sensation.
Exactly. So being clear on your routine, and then from there, just that's where you can tweak it rather than starting from zero.
Absolutely, and it definitely shows the importance of proper nutrition and how to properly plan out your day and what to eat. Unfortunately, our time has come to an end. I want to personally thank you for the eye-opening interview.
It's my pleasure.
Dear viewers, there you have it. Coach Amal Albahar talking about proper nutrition and how to benefit our bodies from it. This has been Daily Reset. Take a breath and reset.